We are Absolute Radio, and right now, you're listening to Frank Skinner's section of the broadcast.
It's Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio, and it's not the Weekend Podcast. I'm with Emily Dean, and I'm with the Cockerel. I can't find his thing.
Well, I could sneeze.
Oh, yeah, go on.
I've got to sneeze. Oh, it's gone now. I've said
well, the moment's gone now, let's
always
face it.
the way.
I was thinking, if you're going to have the Cockerel, what about this for my jingle?
Hello, Mr. Radio.
Nice.
Oh. If I can get people to call me Mr. Radio.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What an about face that would represent.
I'd do it just because I know Chris Evans would be so upset he hadn't thought of it first. Because I bet at home, I bet he makes his family and friends call him Mr. Radio. That's my guess.
You're going to have to start wearing a polka dot shirt now.
Hello, Mr. Radio.
Eddie Izzard used to be known as Mr. Radio, didn't he?
No, did he?
Maybe not. I know he's a tranny. I know. I just knew it was radio. There was a radio element.
Right.
That's all I remember. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I respect him and admire him for it. Although he does look a bit too much like Barney Rubble for a lady dress. But, you know, good old days. Anyway.
The hands are always the giveaway.
Are they? What, on...
Well, they put too much nail polish on.
cross-dressers?
Oh, the Cockerel's done his jingle.
There it is.
Yeah, there you go.
They put nail polish on, you see. And women don't
What,
wear...
cross-dressers?
Yeah.
Women don't wear nail polish. They
but
definitely do.
They don't do it in the way that cross-dressers do. This is all getting a bit tricky.
I think
Yeah,
I
exactly.
could get away with it. I've got quite effeminate
Lovely hands.
Oh, yeah.
This is not a podcast, is it? This needs to be a television programme.
I like man illustrates his gentle hands on radio. Actually, it's not radio. What is it? What is a podcast?
Ether, innit? Somewhere in between radio and not radio.
Anyway, now we've established what we are. Let's get on with it. Yeah, so I've had a difficult week. I'll be straight.
Why?
Well, I've often on. I was back to the wagon wheels from last week's show. I often go to a £9 hairdresser in Soho, in London, and it's a very cool place, I must say. It's in the centre of Soho, and it's the sort of place when I've been having my hair cut in there, they're all sort of Australian people, you know, travellers, people who are, you know, they talk about they were clubbing the night before and all that kind of stuff, and often people will nip in. Someone will come in and say, oh, Steve, and they'll come in and go, oh, hello, darling, you know, oh, man, what a night I had last night. I was at Velvet till 4 o'clock in the morning. And
I don't like the sound of velvet.
no, well, I've made that up because I can't think of any real names.
Frank,
and then I went across to Abercrombie for an hour.
And then it was horse meat.
Yeah, and then back to horse meat.
Are there a lot of what I call flamboyant bachelors working there?
Not working there, but they often pop in.
Okay.
But
I can read between the lines on that.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's very cool. Anyway, I was walking past there the other day on my way somewhere else, and I thought, this is my opportunity to be one of those people who nip in when they don't want a haircut. They're just passing socially. I thought, I'm going to be one of the in crowd, and I was quite excited about it. And there's a very nice woman who works there who often cuts my hair, who's leaving soon and going back to Australia. So I thought I'd just make sure that I had one last haircut with her, so I mentioned when she was leaving. So I thought, this is a golden opportunity to be one of those. Hey! Just nipped in. So, I went in and everybody stared at me like I'd walked into a Wild West saloon for a start off. And she was cutting someone's hair, and I went at her, and I said, and she sort of went, what? God, I'm into cringe mode now. And there was a real sense of, can't you see I'm busy about that? And it was like Bradley Walsh had turned up at the Mobos. I realised I could never be one of the people that just drop into these hairdressers. And people were staring. There was kind of, what's he doing in it? What's this old guy? Like I'd picked up my daughter from the disco or something. It was absolutely excruciating. And I'm not sure now if I'll ever be able to have my hair cut there again.
I don't want you going back there. I don't like the fact. Oh, they're all smiles when the money's jangling around, when the £9.
The £9, yeah. Yeah, when I'm flashing my £9.
They'll
it's a story.
I think it's when you started the tip after the tip furore. That's what's happened.
Maybe, but there
Do you round
seems...
it up? Do you round it up to a 10?
I don't want to write them offers, but I just felt, I'd so done the wrong thing. When I walked away, I honestly, my shoulders were so in cringe mode. I bet you I was 8 inches shorter than my normal stature. My breathing had got a bit shallow. It was a bit like that. Oh, God, it was terrible. And then I went to the cinema to see Captain America.
Oh, yeah. What was it like?
Well, it started off... Pardon?
What did you watch?
Yes. I find I don't like that he didn't know where to put his shield. it won't fit in that thing.
Bad enough when people bring luggage with them, isn't
Exactly. But anyway, so I got in there and the film was about to start, so I put me 3D glasses on. And then I noticed that no one else had put their 3D glasses on.
Oh, shame.
And then there was a woman who turned and really stared at me. I mean, in a hostile, in a real, what are you doing with those on? And I really started to lose my confidence and thought, maybe, is it not 3D? And I got... And she was looking at me, and she was very 3D. She was leaning over the back of the chair. Anyway, the film started, and I thought, these fools haven't realised that this is 3D, And it started, and I thought, is it, or is it? I thought I saw some traces of 3D-ness. 3D. Do you know what I mean? And I kept the glasses on for a bit, and then I thought, no one else has got them on. It isn't 3D.
That's the worst thing that's ever happened in your life.
And this woman still kept looking back at me as well.
It may not be the worst thing ever.
It's the worst thing that's ever happened in his life. That's awful.
I don't think it was quite as bad as the £9 hairdressers. At least it was dark.
Can we just backtrack somewhat? I need more specific information. Had you brought along your own 3D glasses from home?
No.
Or you'd bought them in the cinema?
Well, I hadn't bought them. They hand them out on the way in.
They hand them out?
But, I mean, it was a multi-screen, so they might have been handing them out for another 3D movie. I'm sure it said Captain America 3D outside. Anyway, I stuck with them for about 10 minutes, having realised it just wasn't 3D. And I thought maybe I can kid them that these are my long-distance glasses that I put on. And this woman kept looking back to see if I'd still got them on. Oh, it's so terrible.
And they look like, I know those 3D glasses, they're a bit like snide Ray-Bans. Yeah. Because I produced them once for a business meeting. It wasn't a good look.
What,
instead of my Ray-Bans.
3D glasses on for a business meeting?
No, I had they looked like my Ray-Bans, and I'd kept them in after watching a film, and I kept them in my bag, and I went, bye-bye, bye-bye, and I put the 3D glasses on.
Oh, yeah.
It was awful.
Well, this is almost as embarrassing as Frank wearing them in the cinema.
It was non-3D film. I felt one person walked out of the cinema, and I wondered if they'd looked at me and thought, "Oh God, I haven't got my glasses," and then I would have felt even worse. But they sat when they came back in, they sat further back, and I think they went out to get glasses for a non-3D film. They actually went out to get them, down to me. But it was it's awful.
Oh, Frank, it's not a good week.
This shouldn't be. I've got international representation. It shouldn't be happening to me. I should be cosseted from these sort of things in life.
Yeah, you need a hand holder. I once went to see, I think it was last year, a Toy Story film in Edinburgh, and went to the toilet partway through, absent-mindedly pushed on the door right next to the cinema screen. Noisy film, a bit distracted, and... walked out the wrong door, ended up in a fire escape, and couldn't get back in. Couldn't get back in. The door shut.
They don't want a bit cheating husband.
I was in this weird sort of, these in a big multiplex bits where you're outside, and I'm going, well, I can't get back in. I'm in this weird sort of car parky fire.
I think you're going to say there was a man with like a big reel of film on a thing. Man from the 1950s smoking a roll-up cigarette.
Yeah, but I'd gone out the fire escape.
So did you have to leave the cinema in the end?
I thought I was going to have to walk right round the block, back in the front door, and go, I've just gone to the toilet. I'm actually already in the film. But as it was, I got my fingertips right under the
just
bottom.
Just gone to the toilet. Have you got any napkins?
I've soiled myself as well, yeah. No, I got my fingers right under the bottom of the door and created enough of a pull to
the Cockerel went a bit Born Identity.
I did. Yeah. I had to.
It.
I bet the whole audience was watching that steadily opening door.
Yeah. and then had to come back in and then go to the toilet. It was all very embarrassing.
I'd have gone to the toilet in the corridor. I haven't gone that far.
I wouldn't have bothered even going into the corridor.
Yeah,
No?
It was awkward, definitely.
Yeah, but not as bad as the 3D glasses.
No, yours is.
What? Mind your own business. If this woman, if I wanted to watch with, mind your own business and really staring at me.
Yeah, you might have had a gammy eye under there.
Yeah, it could have been. It could
Or
have been.
it could have been an affectation, a style affectation.
Yeah.
And what's wrong with that?
Well,
Yeah, it could have been Timmy Mallet having an afternoon out.
just trying to take a bit of the gaudiness off his shirt.
Perhaps that's it. Perhaps in the darkness you're thinking, is that Timmy Mallet or is it not? Oh, I don't know.
I think he's an artist now, Timmy Mallet.
Timmy
he?
Mallet is an artist.
To me, he always.
Whoa!
To me,
Hold on.
Frank, he always was an artist.
Yeah?
It's a difference of opinion there.
To me, he was always a buffoon.
I think he's an artist.
Of what nature?
I don't know what... I'm sure I saw some of his work somewhere.
Are you
Up-
getting
up on a
confused
wall.
with Neil Buchanan?
No.
Oh, okay.
Who was Neil Buchanan?
He was of Art Attack fame.
Oh, I remember Art Attack.
no.
Yeah.
I'm not getting...
Lots of urban
You're
myths
getting
about him.
confused with Rembrandt.
No.
Okay.
Tony Hart. Is it Tony Hart?
Yeah, Tony Hart.
Yeah, he's now a wacky DJ.
I'm afraid he's no longer with
He's no
us.
longer with
is
us.
No.
Has he morphed?
He's,
Cockerel.
oh, marvellous. Oh, he always used to wear those Apache scarves, Tony Hart. Do you remember the Apache
and a
scarf?
white crew neck.
With
loved.
like a brass ring that the two
Yes.
ends of the scarf used to go through.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
He was flamboyant.
it's jokes like that morph one that got our Cockerel onto Just a Minute.
I think
not sure it
I
is.
think that would be regarded as too topical for just a minute. No, I
Oh,
was.
no, the Cockerel. We had, I know this, I didn't hear it, I'm afraid, Cockerel, but we did have an email in saying, "Hi, Frank and gang, I listened to Just a Minute the other day with Alan Cochrane, and very good it was too." That was from Tony Grove.
You see, anyone who listens to Radio 4 comedy is going to say, and very good it was too. Everything about it. I think the laughs on Just a Minute. Is there an audience there? They feel like they've kept laughs from 1950s radio programmes, and nobody laughs like that anymore. Ha ha ha!
Those people do.
Do they?
Yes, they still do. They're there.
Yeah, my
They're
parents
there.
do, to be fair.
Yeah.
Do they?
They were.
Very much so.
I've never met your parents, but I can imagine them being Radio 4 sort of people. Am I right?
I love Radio 4, but Just a Minute and I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue do seem to be from a completely different decade. So it was for me, you were representing the modern world.
Right. Well, I like it. That's
I'm not saying I don't like it.
it's.
I didn't do it. I did. There's versions of it all over the world. I did the Alaskan. It's called Just an Inuit. Yeah, it was very. You do the talking for a minute, but there's also some competitive snowballing too as a tiebreaker. Now, what I like about it though is that you said something funny on it, and Nicholas. It wasn't an answer to anything. You just said it.
Oh,
and
good.
Nicholas Parsons said. Well, I'm accepting that interruption, but I liked your remark, Alan, so I'm giving you a point for that. And I love that he's broken down witty conversation into point-scoring opportunity. Like, some sort of... Somewhere in Nicholas Parsons... I imagine he's in an enormous nerve centre at home with like a slightly shiny blue screen like they have at the centre of the O2 network.
Yeah.
And he's there, and he's got a sort of a banter league table. And he's moving things around the table like little flags. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's probably exactly how his mind works.
But yeah, I thought you were splendid on it.
Oh,
I saw you as our representative.
Oh, well, I feel like my career is moving into radio
Yeah.
with every day.
Yeah, well, you can't have everything. I do slightly worry about a panel show where Giles Brandreth is regarded as the jewel in the crown.
I'm not
No.
sure he is.
Oh, is,
Oh,
he,
I
is
thought-
he a regular
Still,
then?
I've
is
got
he?
the feeling on
Regularly
this
on it.
that he was the real
Definitely on it.
he was the star.
Oh, is he? Josie Lawrence as well.
She wasn't on
She
it.
gets the work.
I
Paul
think
Merton's,
I think some of these new comics might have replaced her. No names, no Patrick. But it was. I very much. When I'm in the car, I like to combine listening to a Radio 4 with listening to a series of audio CDs. That's what I'm...
Oh, dear.
Yeah,
You go for the old audiobooks.
all my music listening seems to be at home now. In the car, I want the spoken word. It's company more than anything.
Yeah.
Because I do long distances on my own, you see, to football matches mainly.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Kath won't do a football match. So, it's become my garden shed, my
Yeah.
car, that I sit in there for hours listening to stuff. And I actually recorded an audiobook this week. I did Ozzy Osbourne's Trust Me, I'm Dr. Ozzy.
Oh.
So you read it?
I read it. I also read his autobiography before. I am one of my
You're
jobs.
you're Ozzy Osbourne's interpreter.
I'm his voice. Yeah. If he has some terrible illness and loses his voice, they'll want me to record the sort of Hawking soundbox thing. That'll
why
be me.
Why don't they get him to do it?
He won't do it.
Oh. He just won't do it. He won't be told.
I don't know what his sight reading's like to be up front.
And
Which
Frank,
bit?
it's the jangling of the bracelets.
Well, there's that
You
as
can't
well.
get rid of it.
So I don't do it as him.
Right.
You know, I'm not doing all that.
You could. You've got the skills.
No, I
though.
couldn't do that. I mean, we're talking. I mean, I was in there for 10 hours.
Yeah, you'd come out lightheaded.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. So I think they think I'm the nearest thing to it. But I like the fact that they're sold in America. So in America, they got me being Ozzy Osbourne. But I tell you what, the highlight of the day was for me. They, I like a pencil.
Oh.
The pencils in this studio were made from reconstituted newspaper.
No.
And you can see it. I've got one here.
Really?
You can see
That
it in the...
replaced your What Would Emily Do pencil?
Well,
Oh,
nothing
that's
could
good.
replace that. But if you look at the tip of that, you can see a hint of
Pass me
newspaper
the tip,
in it.
Alan.
This is,
Oh, yeah.
I've passed the pencil to the cockerel.
The cockerel's
He's now
effeminate
passing it
hands are
to
now passing his pencil
Emily
around.
Dean. Emily Dean, who wears a leopard print scarf for the purposes of this pencil examination.
Leo print, actually.
Leo print. What does that mean?
Beautiful. It's a fashion term.
Surely
I don't have
Leo is the
time.
lion
Yeah.
that has no print.
It's called
I'm handing
Leo.
the pencil back to Frank now,
Thank you.
listeners.
That's lovely, Frank.
Made from... so I feel I'm not killing any trees or anything when I'm writing with this.
That is good. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yes.
How dare you?
Is that your saying, or is that
I
something...
think it's a well-known saying.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's the first time. Is it a bit like mirror signal manoeuvre?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They
Although-
probably have it down at the dump. I spend a lot of time at the dump.
Do you?
Yeah.
What, in a seagull suit? I like the idea of that.
Yeah. Never mind the dump. Frank, we've been talking about...
The Sex,
new panel
the Sex
game.
Pistols album that never really sold well.
We've been talking about Alan and his big moment this week.
I don't know if it's his big moment. It was a big moment.
Okay, it was a big moment. Can we talk about me?
My big moment was never mind the dump. But that's a different story.
Can we just talk about me briefly?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I had a bit of a celebrity night out last week.
Well, you don't say.
Well, I do say. I very much say. I went to the recording of, it may have escaped your notice, it may not have, but Jonathan Ross's show is back. He's
Well,
a close
yes.
personal friend of mine.
I know that.
And I went to the recording of his first show. I'm just pausing here for you all to be impressed, but no
Wow.
one said anything.
Well, we're
Thank you.
we're agape.
I'll give you a wow.
I certainly am.
I had a bit of green room action. I love a bit of green room action. There were some good guests.
Well, there were, yeah, very good guests.
Adele, lovely.
Yes.
Loved her, very down to earth.
Was she rolling in the deep?
No.
We don't play enough of her on Absolute. do
I
we?
often
Should
think
really
that.
I love Adele.
Send them
Do
an
you?
email.
Well, you know when you meet someone and you just suddenly think,
I bet she's very down to earth. Is what I'm imagining. Is she down to earth?
very down to earth.
I knew
She
she'd be
took her
down to
heels
earth.
off. She went, "Oh God, these are killing me."
Brilliant.
She was like that. And then
Yeah,
Lewis
give
Hamilton.
her 2 years of success. It'll be, if you,
Hamilton was
my
nice.
dressing room hasn't been painted in the
Lewis
last 2
Hamilton.
weeks. Sorry.
Lewis Hamilton, the skin on the man, the glowing skin on the man.
Maybe he's
Well,
he's spending his unpaid British taxes on moisturiser, being as he is a tax exile.
It's a waste cooped up in that car.
Well, you'd have to moisturise that fat. If you're driving around
Yeah.
at at 200 miles an hour. That's going to dry the skin out on the face.
G-force.
He had extraordinary skin.
Did he?
Oh, lovely.
And very short hair, and so neat.
So
Did
neat.
you-
The neatness of the
Did you ask
trimmed
him?
beard.
Did you ask him what moisturiser he used? Or
No, I didn't, but I did have a makeup incident because I met him in the makeup room. That's where you chat. You know, a bit like you went into the hairdressers.
The pits, as you
Yeah.
call it. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So we were in the makeup room chatting.
How tall is Lewis Hamilton?
Oh, well, I had 4.5-inch heels on.
Right.
And I'd say he was about my height, which would have made me 5'7" with the 4.5
See, he
inches.
looks little, doesn't he?
I think he's about 5'6.5", 5'7".
Yeah, I've
Yes.
had him pegged slightly above that, but I've never met him.
Well, he was next to J-Ro, and J-Ro's very tall.
Who?
Jonathan Ross.
Oh, that's
J-Ro.
is he known as J-Ro now?
I got that. I don't know why, but I did.
No,
So, Jonathan was about to go on, and I said, "Oh, well, good luck, good luck." Went to kiss him. That was great. And then afterwards, he came off. We all said, "Great show." I noticed a massive makeup stain on his jacket. I know. Well, it was either me, or it was Adele, or it was SJP.
I'm gonna have to watch this back now and look for it.
Or
Which
Lewis.
lapel am I
I
looking at?
felt so responsible, Frank, and I don't know if he'd noticed it. I haven't even fessed this up to him. I hope they can fix it in the HD. But you see, that's happened to me before. I did it with Anton Dubek once.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Well, I was wrong about him. And what, you kissed Anton Dubek?
Orange smear on the jacket. It was
Yes.
awful.
No, that's him. The orange smear, I think, is that this should be his boxing name. And now Anton, the orange smear Dubek, and he come in bounding in a silk, used to be an orange silk dressing gown with the hood, and on the back it said the orange smear.
Well, I didn't know what to do because he's very when he kisses you, hello, Anton. He gets up close and personal, and he often makes a comment.
It's hard to kiss anyone from a distance. To be
No,
fair.
but there's ways and ways.
Oh,
Frank.
is he? Does he take advantage?
No, he doesn't take it. Well, yeah, he does a bit.
Yeah, is he the plasticine chest guard man, taking the imprint?
But no, I left a massive smear, and he seems the type that would be quite meticulous, if you know what I mean.
I'd certainly had him down as meticulous.
He's a meticulous bachelor, I think.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You see, well, anyway, we won't go into that.
No, let's not
I
go
think-
into that.
I think. Now you mention it, I think he might be a bit of a ladies' man.
Oh.
Dubek.
Yeah.
So you think?
Whereas
he would
I
be-
thought he was a bit of a lady. But no, I think he's a man about town.
Oh, is he? Well, what was difficult about the makeup on the collar was that what do you do?
What, Anton's or Jonathan's?
Well, both, really.
See, Anton, I mean, people have to get a good grip on Anton on that show, don't they? You can't get any purchase if he's covered in sort of oily substance.
But that's the
I
trouble.
said that to him at that wrestling thing we did for charity. Half
must have
Nelson,
had
I said,
that,
I'm lucky if
though.
I can get a quarter. Sorry.
You must have had that, though. Have you had women kiss you hello or something, or embrace you and then...
Not since the
makeup?
80s.
I haven't. I've never had a makeup smear on any of my clothing.
Really?
From an affectionate kiss by a lady. And if it happened, I'd have to kill her, just for the good of my marriage.
It's a
She'd have to
fair
die.
point. It's, I mean, it's an accident waiting to happen, I have to say.
It's a real issue.
I
went-
think it's partly not you, is it? Surely it's... didn't you say another guest was Sarah Jessica Parker?
Well, I wondered whether it
She's
might be
got a
SJP.
lot of face. She's got a big old face, hasn't she? And has she had those...
She uses a roller.
Did she have moles, or... Because that would be like a Dotter bingo pen, wouldn't it? If she had...
SJP's got moles.
I thought
it
she
turns
had
out.
moles, but I think they might have gone.
I don't know. What do you mean gone?
I think she
I
had them,
didn't examine.
I think she had them dealt with.
Did she? I don't remember her moles.
Oh, I might be thinking
In
of that.
SATC, she had
I think
them.
I might be thinking of the guy from DL and Pasco. What's his name?
They're off. They're off.
They've gone,
Next stop. What happens to all those moles?
Yeah, there's
That are
just a
removed.
bucket of them out the back of the
Oh.
hospital somewhere.
I hope there's no phone calls to Cocoa Pops going on. That's all I can say.
It's awful.
Well, when you think, if you actually stand back from the makeup on collar situation,
Yes.
now it is a ludicrous situation. The whole thing is ludicrous. I mean, forgive me for saying, but look, they're painting my flats at the moment. When I walk in, there's a big sign that says wet paint. Consequently, I don't go near it, so I don't get
Yes.
stuff on my clothes. Whereas women don't seem to feel any need for that. Where's the warning with women?
Wet face.
Well,
Powdery face.
there's some if you stand back from it, it feels a bit weird because isn't there something strange if you think about it that people go out in a sort of disguise?
Yeah.
I'm including you, Emily, Dean, on this. You know,
I don't think the word including, I think aiming it at you is
Well,
perhaps
no.
the word you're
No,
searching for.
No, I'm thinking the whole general, certainly not aiming. But if I said to you, a funny thing happened to me this week, I went along to Jonathan Ross's chat show, and I went as the IVF pioneer Robert Winston. You'd think, that's a bit, what? You did when I was kissing Sarah Jessica Parker, and when I pulled back, she got an enormous moustache. Then I realised it'd come off me, and it was there. You'd think, what kind of a story is... What do you mean you went as another person?
But if you said, I went along and I shaved and had a bath, I'd think, congratulations.
That's a bit different, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's personal grooming. It's improving your appearance.
It's a disguise. That's all it is.
Shaving is a disguise,
It's like
then.
it's being someone else. If I
Shaving
went out,
is a disguise.
If I said I went out, I decided I'm going to do the show as a South African today.
You should all have beards.
Welcome here to Absolute Radio. I mean, people would say, it's my makeup voice. Shut up about it. It's like those women on the makeup counter.
Yeah.
Right? You don't. It's all right. We know what you're selling. You don't have to cover yourself in
Wear
it.
it all.
I can't, I'm afraid I can't join into this. This is how I earn my living, I'm afraid.
Well, not on the makeup counter.
Yeah, don't bite the hand that feeds.
Oh, exactly.
If I go into a gentleman's outfitters, though, I don't expect them to wear like suit, waistcoat, overcoat, scarf. It's all right. I don't mind looking at it on the shelf.
Well, no, they don't tend to in cancer research.
I love the idea you go in a gentleman's outfit.
I certainly do.
Something for the weekend, sir.
But they don't have to wear all the stock. But the makeup women,
I like them to wear the stock, you see. I want to
No.
see what I'm getting.
their
Yeah.
heads are much smaller, you know, when they're cleansed.
Yeah.
They have to have two hats. They have to have their non-makeup hat and their makeup hat.
Right.
It's a half an inch difference.
Elton John's wig.
So I think it's about time women just, just gave up on the makeup thing.
Now, there is something slightly ridiculous about it, though. But I occasionally have that when shaving my face. I
Yeah.
do think this is silly. Like,
Just have a beard.
I'm using a bit of sharpened metal to scrape hair that could grow on my face. This is ridiculous.
Go Kitson.
I have lots of moments like that. I sometimes have a beard. I'm on off. It's a movable feast. I had a moment of extraordinary ridiculousness this week. Twice, in fact, not even once. As you know, I'm the owner of a Whippet.
Yeah.
And
You didn't shave it.
she was caked in makeup, gave me a kiss, and it left it on my suit.
What, is she ex-lab?
No.
I don't mean Labrador, I mean laboratory.
No, she's not.
Okay.
Anyway, I've been taking her out for a run to the local meadows.
Taking
and,
a Whippet for a run is quite hard work.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, she can really go. But
Don't touch a dish.
Bit of.
I mean, ever.
She's fine. I pretend to eat her food, don't I?
Oh, of course, yeah.
But
Forgot that.
she's fine with the dish. But what I have noticed, a bad habit of hers, is deliberately rolling in fox poo.
Oh,
Deliberately.
And it's quite smelly, fox poo.
Really smelly. And
What do they eat? Poultry.
who,
Bins.
foxes?
Yeah.
Foxes, I'm not sure what
They eat bins.
But they eat out of bins, so the food is rotting.
I
So
think
that's
you've
not
got
going to
them mixed
smell.
up with the homeless.
Again.
Yeah. I know, because I used to roll in homeless droppings on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And you could smell the bins on them. No, why do they roll in fox excrement?
I think it's because they want to disguise their own smell, because it apparently helps them in the hunt. They think that the prey won't smell, oh, that's a whippet coming up behind me. You'd think that the
Really?
prey would think, that's something covered in fox poop coming up behind me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why they do it, but it's a
Prey
pack thing.
What is that?
Yeah.
Horrible. The Whippet's not trying to attract. There isn't some local beagles he's got his eye on that he's trying to draw it. I've never heard of this phenomenon before, the rolling in fox.
Well, let me tell you, it's led to quite a weird thing. Twice this week I have had to wash my Whippet, and then that's not a euphemism.
It really sounds like
It does, doesn't it? Twice this week I've had to wash my Whippet and rub tomato sauce in it. When my wife said, "Oh, you rub tomato sauce in her fur," I was like, OK, this is obviously some prank, and then you phone everyone going, yeah, I got him to rub tomato sauce into the dog. But no, that is apparently the advice. It neutralises the odour. So I had this weird moment of standing in my own garden rubbing...
She got mixed up with a hot dog.
Yes. I was rubbing Sainsbury's organic tomato ketchup into my dog. What a weird world this is. Isn't it strange?
I've never, ever heard of that before.
And what level of trial and error did they go through before they went, yep, tomato sauce neutralises fox poop smell?
Actually,
when it
now
dries.
you come to mention it, when... I remember David Baddiel used to do it when we worked with Basil Brush. I used to have to smear him with mayonnaise. No, it's a strange tale and no mistake.
I like a strange tale.
I mean, if anybody wants to email in with an alternative to fox
And did it work?
tomato ketchup, I think it works a bit in neutralising
Presumably
the
she smells the tomato ketchup after.
What I did was put the tomato ketchup in, and then 5 minutes after that I washed her again with a bit of soap and water. So she's getting a lot of washes.
I only
We had into my day. It's eating into my day.
Shep, my last dog, he was... he died at 18. I think I remember washing him once in all the time we had him. I put him in the bath. I remember he used to... I put about 3 inches of soapy water in. It was like World War II all over again. And I put him in there, and I stood him up, and he slipped, and he started to panic, and he started kind of running on the spot like in Tom and Jerry, trying to stand up. I could hear the dog nails hitting the enamel of the bath, and he was sort of running on the spot, and he sort of built up his own froth behind him from the thing, and he really kept trying to get out and stuff, and he really didn't like it, and I didn't like I didn't enjoy the undercarriage elements of the wash.
But when you saw all that froth, you thought this could be a gap in the market for a foam party here. Is that what they do in Ibiza?
I don't know if they existed there. What, they take a step?
We need to ask our other producer.
Lots of dogs.
God, that is...
But you see, I'm quite jealous because of the access the Whippet had to the fox.
The access to fox poop?
Well, no, not the poo.
Oh, they don't go
But
near
do you
the
know
action.
my feelings about foxes, Alan?
No,
I don't know if you're aware.
I do not know.
Oh, I'm quite fond of a fox.
Oh, really?
That's what I wanted to buy them as a pet, but Frank deterred me. He was worried that I'd dress it up in his suit.
I think
it out on a
didn't you
lead.
deterred your dog as well? No, it's a strange fascination.
I'm obsessed. There was a woman this week. She was in Birmingham, and she apparently she said she woke up on in the morning, and a fox was sitting on her chest.
Yes. Is it true, that story?
Yeah, she's got a picture of it, Frank. Tony, her husband, went out for a smoke.
I mean, she's got a picture of... It looks to me that could... It looks like it's in a magazine rack. Where is it in the house, that picture?
It's in the bedroom. It just leapt off the bed. I recognise some of the interiors.
Well, it looks to me like an oven glove in a magazine rack.
Tony went out downstairs for a smoke in the morning, and that's how the fox got in. She was terrified. She said it. Now, that's my fantasy. That's my absolute fantasy.
To wake
Foxy
up
in the
under a
bedroom.
fox.
Oh, no.
Foxy in the bedroom. I'd have it in the bed.
In the bedroom, I know. I also noticed that this woman had a picture of her bedroom, and she had russet-coloured cushions on the bed, and I thought, that's what... She's woke up. There was a russet-coloured... she's put 2 and 2 together and got 5.
Still a little bit hazy. She's had a look at that's a fox.
I think it's... It said that, luckily, she thought it was a cat, the husband said, so she didn't get upset.
Yeah.
They don't have a cat. So if she'd woke up, there was a cat on her chest, she'd have been quite calm.
Oh,
I would never have let it out.
I can barely even imagine having a fox in the bedroom. That's That's how
What's wrong with
limited
you?
my imagination is. That I'm not a fan.
You don't like the Auburn pelt?
I do not like the urban fox. I think they're getting too cocky. They're too sort of assured. When you drive past them in London and they sort of look at you as if to go, shall I move? I don't know. And then they have a little think as if, have we overtaken them yet in the food chain? No, I'll give them another 6 months. And they move out of the way begrudgingly.
I know what you mean. I saw one,
Don't
I
like
saw
it.
one early this morning on Whitehall, very near to Downing Street.
Oh, political
Just
fox.
shouldn't be there.
One crossing the road,
Like
yeah.
a political fox.
Yeah.
I saw one by Cash Point. I don't know if he was using it, but I like that he was there.
They're everywhere. I think we're talking pandemic.
Yeah.
I don't know quite what pandemic means, but endemic seems to be a bit old-fashioned now. Very pandemic. I have my doubts about that story.
Do
Well,
you?
Cockerel. Yeah.
It's just because she's from Birmingham and you feel...
Well, when she said, and when I jumped out of the bed, I slipped on my fantastic Mix the Fox pyjama case. I thought, I think I know what's... No, it just feels like a... Would it be on your chest? Is that likely?
Oh, they can get everywhere.
Yeah, but presumably it's after food, isn't it?
She described it as a cheeky so-and-so. I like that. You don't often hear that expression.
Are they germ carriers?
Oh, I would
Oh,
think
heavens,
so.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because the combination of the bins and the...
Oh, a bit like a lice farm or something.
do you think? I hadn't thought of that element.
Disgusting.
I imagine they used to make them into hats, didn't they, at one time?
Foxes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And stoles.
Yeah.
Yeah? What's that, like a collar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy to talk about this for another 20 minutes. And they bark.
Foxes?
Yeah.
Oh, they scream, don't they?
Oh,
they
yeah.
scream.
And they have a lovely innate cunning.
You really like foxes.
But if more or less every time I've woke up, there's been a woman from Birmingham underneath me, I've screamed as well.
We are Absolute Radio, and right now, you're listening to Frank Skinner's section of the broadcast.